And Quad County Plumbing and Heating supports all local wrestlers this year at state, providing Fort Morgan and surrounding areas with quality service for your new furnace, water heaters, tube heating, and more. Is Quad County Plumbing and Heating.
Jacob Gerken out on the mat, reaches in on a single leg, and these guys are side by side in just a funky position. I'm not sure anybody has control right now, and the official agrees and calls a stalemate. Both wrestlers were kind of laying on a hip, each with a hold of a leg.
Facing Ryan Daves, a senior from Montezuma Cortez at 36-0.
And there's the shot by the Cortez wrestler, and Gerken will figure 4 around the head, and he pulled it in too tight, and he'll give up a penalty point. So the illegal hold by Gerken, he's down 1-0. And again, Gerken, a tough draw on this side of the bracket. You'd hoped for Gerken that this match wouldn't have happened until a semifinal, but he meets around earlier than he wants to. The Montezuma Cortez wrestler in, driving on a double leg near the edge of the mat, got his toes up, and he earns the 2 right on the edge of the mat. Mat awareness is the phrase they use there.
That's like a center with your back to the basket. You got to know who's around you.
Knew right where the edge was, and Coach Spike Reynolds is going to go over there and question it. I think
it's been a while since I've seen Spike. Not Spike anymore. He's got a lot more hair. Used to have that crew cut.
Yep. I think that he thinks that the Montezuma Cortez wrestler put his knees down while they were out of bounds. Here's Gerken trying to get up onto his feet. We're down to 56 seconds to go in the first period. And the score still shows 1-0, but it should be 3 after the penalty point and the takedown of Gerken. Gerken trying to hit a switch, works around to his left side, but he's followed nicely by the Montezuma Cortez wrestler. Davis continues to work. And here's Gerken trying to pop free around the right side, but Davis just throws his hips right back over the top of him to try and maintain control.
Yeah, they got this all messed up. They have Gerken leading the match at 2-1 if I'm looking at the right scoreboard, which I am.
Yeah, that's what the scoreboard shows down there, but...
Yeah, see, the coach has to contest that, and I believe he is right now for
it should
Montezuma Cortez. Yeah, it should be 3-0.
Gerken gave up the penalty point, then got taken down, and they're going to go over to the scorer's table and talk it over. Now they've bounced it around. Shows 1-0 in favor of Davis. Gerken is back to the referee's position. He's ready to go with just 12 seconds left in the first period, but we're still trying to get the scoreboard squared away. Now, this is can be one of the challenges of working with the track wrestling computers. They have a laptop on each table, and they've got to get that readjusted as well, but they finally got it. It is a 3-0 match, Jacob Gerken trailing. Makes it up to his feet briefly, and again trying to get that kick to break his leg free, but Davis hangs onto a single leg and drives Gerken right off the edge of the mat with 3 seconds to go in the first period. See if Jacob Gerken can get a last-second flurry and maybe earn himself a point. He will not. And so we'll go to the second period. The Fort Morgan senior, Jacob Gerken, trailing by a score of 3-0 to the undefeated Ryan Davis, senior from Montezuma Cortez. Gerken is going to ride. He jumped on the right side, but got going just a little bit early. Actually, I didn't see a caution, so maybe there was a whistle from another mat that they went off of. Back at it here. Davis gets up to his feet, kind of in a tripod position, and Gerken just cuts him loose. So Jacob Gerken trailing by a score of 4-0 now. Long shot by Davis, gets a hold of an ankle, trying to work up the body of the Fort Morgan senior. Goes all the way underneath, chases him around. Gerken kicks himself free. Minute and a half to go in the second period. Both wrestlers on their feet. Jacob Gerken trailing again 4-0. Shot by Davis. Gerken had it, dropped him into almost that cow catcher move, and he nearly put him straight to his back. They ran out of room. He does get the takedown for it. So that'll make it 4-2.
That's mad awareness as well by the Cortez wrestler, because he was in a world of trouble there.
Yep, knew that he was on the edge of the mat and could squirm off. Gerken gives up the escape. Boy, that would have been huge for Jacob Gerken to be able to get some back points against this undefeated wrestler from Montezuma Cortez. Davis with another shot. Gerken keeps him away. Davis in on a weak shot, trying to get into a fireman's carry or a duck under, but Gerken latches onto a front headlock and is keeping him from going anywhere. 30 seconds to go in the second period, and Gerken trails by a score of 5-2. Good match for the Fort Morgan senior. They'll break apart, come back to their feet. Jace Lopez of Roosevelt on the other side of the bracket. Here he was the regional champion over Jacob Gerken. There's another shot by the Montezuma Cortez wrestler, but a front headlock will keep him away, and time will run out in the second period, and Gerken will go to the third, trailing by a score of 5-2. Did we see? I don't see Jace Lopez out on the mat. His match may have already concluded. Gerken working from the bottom. Start out the third period. Stuck in the base position. Davis riding from the left side. Here's Gerken trying to get up onto his feet. Gets stuck in the sit-out position, then flattened back down. Minute and a half to go in the match. Jacob Gerken trailing by a score of 5-2. Wrestled pretty well against the top wrestlers here in the state, but down by 3. Still flat down on his stomach, and he's actually going to get... Actually, that'll go the other way. The caution for stalling will go against Davis as they slip out of bounds with a minute 10 to go in the match. Gerken will come back to the referee's position in the center. And we get a caution on the start. I think that was on Davis. Minute 5 seconds left in the match. Fort Morgan senior Jacob Gerken down by a score of 5-2. Davis trying to get control of a wrist, looking to maybe bar up an arm. Gerken up onto his feet briefly and gets driven down, and a roll by Davis. Tried to get a couple of cheap points, back points against Gerken, but he rolls it all the way through. Down to 35 seconds left in the match. Time running out for Jacob Gerken here in this championship quarterfinal match. Trying to avoid a move down to the consolation side of the bracket, but down by 3 and down to 20 seconds left in the match. Gets himself turned back in. Got a hold of a leg, and Davis hanging on to a single. And Gerken trying to get Davis pulled all the way through and land him into what's called the spladle or the splits cradle, and just couldn't get it done. A stalemate will be called from there with 4 seconds left. So time running out for Gerken, just 4 ticks on the clock. Davis cuts him loose to make it 5-3, but no time left. So the final will be 5-3. Gerken will move to the consolation side of the bracket. Wrestled a good match against the undefeated senior from Montezuma Cortez, but as